Hi everyone, this is Erica for another Sunday live stream. Hope to see you all here soon. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for people to join, I'll just go over some of the basic details that I know you're all familiar with. So my name's Erica. I have a company, Gokche Capital. I buy and sell land. And you can find my website at gokchecapital.com. And so I do buy and sell land. If you're interested in selling your land, you can click Get My Cash Offer on our home screen. And if you're interested in buying land, you can go to Buy Land and take a look at our main listing page. On our main listing page, there's a map with all of our available properties. The red pins are properties that are currently available, so you can scroll in to a particular area if there's somewhere that you're interested in. And you can also click on a red pin to see more information on a property. It also includes a link to that property's main listing page. And below this, there's a table with more information as well as links to the main listing pages. Okay, but we don't just buy and sell land. I also like to put out a fair amount of informational content for land buyers, land sellers, and land owners. The kind of content that I was interested in having when I first started my business. Hi everyone, glad to see you all joining. Hope you're having a great Sunday. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to go over the structure of this live stream. So it's half an hour broken into 3 10-minute segments. The first 10 minutes, I'll cover our latest properties. The second, I'll cover our latest blog posts and other informational content. And then in the final segment, we'll do the vacation giveaway. And of course, when I have a pause, I'll be checking the chat and I'll join in on conversations or answer any questions that you may have. So feel free to ask questions at any time. I'll try to get to them. And yeah, thank you all for joining. Glad to see some familiar faces. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. All right. So as I was saying, we do have a number of informational material. All of our blog posts are free, completely free, of course. These are longer form blog posts, at least 2,000 words that really, we try to go in depth in a particular topic. And I try to post 3, sometimes 4 blog posts a week. So you'll find a lot of information there. If you're interested in a particular topic, you can always use the search tool to try and search for the topics of your interest. And of course, hi Giselle, good to see you again. Of course, we also have this YouTube channel where we occasionally post knowledge videos that are also geared toward explaining in a shorter format, more condensed format, important topics. On top of that, we do regular videos almost daily on the short side of just detailing our properties that we have available. And I'll just quickly note that we do have a few paid materials as well, including courses on land due diligence, land investing, and selling properties online, as well as a book that includes 11 stories of mistakes I made starting the business, but the bulk of that book is actually a long due diligence checklist. So those resources are available as well. Okay, so I will start the first segment and I'll cover our latest properties. I only got around to posting 1 property last week, although I have 3 properties coming up in Modoc County that I'm going to post probably first thing tomorrow morning. So if you're interested in Modoc County, California, which is up here in Northern California, keep an eye out for those properties. 2 are adjacent to each other, so if you want a larger assemblage, you could buy those 2 together. As I said, I'll be posting those very soon. But this week, I posted 1 property in Hampshire County. Hampshire County, it's a county that a few years back, we actually bought a number of parcels in. We haven't come back to Hampshire for a while, although we loved working in Hampshire. At some point, I think I'll want to go back and search for more parcels. Because we are in New York, we're actually able to visit some of these properties, as well as Hampshire County itself, and it's an incredibly beautiful county. So the classic West Virginia Appalachian Mountains, very forested, lots of rolling hills. And it's only a little over 2 hours to Washington, D.C. and some of the other major East Coast cities. So it's a good place for vacation homes for people who live in the East Coast cities. I do see one question here from K9 Lover. Could we use a credit card to pay the full price? So if you're paying the full cash discount price, you can pay the document fee with a credit card, but you cannot pay the actual purchase price. For the purchase price, we accept payment via ACH transfer, Zelle, or wire. So I know that that's maybe less than ideal for some folks, but we've had some problems with credit cards, so that's why we don't accept them anymore on the full cash purchase side. But I can quickly tell you, if you're interested in purchasing any property, we do have a full automated checkout process. You just click buy or hold, and then you can select owner financing or cash. You'll pay the down payment or the document fee. It'll automatically generate all of the documents, purchase agreement, land contract, all of that. And then if you're doing the cash purchase, paying the full cash purchase price, once the automated system is done, that system lets you pay the document fee. I'll send you an email, ask which of the 3 methods you prefer, and I'll send you instructions for paying the actual cash discount price. So, but this property is, so let me just scroll out. In case you're not familiar with Hampshire County, it's close to the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. The Green Ridge State Forest is to the north. You can see that this is a very green area, lots of rolling hills, forests. There are a number of wildlife management areas dotted throughout the county, so it's a good place for hunting if that's something you're into. And this particular property is in the Crystal Valley HOA. It's off of Crystal Valley Drive. It is almost 3 acres, 2.79, so it's a good sized property. On our main listing page, you can see photos of the property. The road is in decent shape, and there should be power lines along the road, but water and sewer would need to be well and septic. There is no zoning in Hampshire County, but again, this is in the Crystal Valley Estates HOA, and they don't allow mobile homes or livestock. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. I can always send you an email with the full CCRs if you're interested in the property. Right now, we've set the cash discount price at $13,999. We do, of course, as we always do, have an owner financing option. That would be $1 down plus the document fee, and then $299 per month for 70 months. That is 0% APR, but you don't get the cash discount price. There's also no credit check, so we don't have an application process. You would just go through our regular automated checkout. But because of that, I would just note that during the loan term, you're not able to build on or live on the property. So there are some stipulations there. But of course, once it's fully paid, then you're free to use it, provided you comply with local rules and regulations. So that is the Hampshire County property. You can find more information here. And like I said, I'm about to post 3 new properties in Modoc County, which is up here. It's surrounded by the Modoc National Forest, outside of Alturas, which is the county seat of Modoc County. We've had a number of parcels in Modoc County, so if you've been looking at our properties, you're probably familiar with this area. It is a rural county dominated by public land. A lot of the properties are in the pine forest, in the hills and the pine forest in this area here. But we do have one property just outside of Alturas, which is in a flatter area. So if you have any interest in Modoc County, Northern California, keep an eye out. I'll most likely be making those 3 live tomorrow. And as I said, 2 of them are adjacent to each other. They can be bought together or separately. All right, so then on the blog side, I did post a couple blogs. I don't remember if I went over this one last time, but we did a blog post on excavation and construction, which is, maybe not the most exciting topic, but very important because excavation can be one of the most expensive parts of building a home depending on your topography. Certainly back when I was working in New York City, excavation could be a real nightmare. You're in New York City, so you have all the underground utilities going on. And because it's an older city, most of the time they're not fully mapped, so you don't really know where all those utilities are. But more importantly, you have a ton of bedrock. So we had a number of cases where bedrock just showed up, and despite best efforts and any number of soil studies that were done, the bedrock wasn't caught. Bedrock can easily add, if it's a small home construction, thousands of dollars. If it's large multifamily, hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the size and depth. And in some cases, because it's New York City, that rock was contaminated. So it often became a big mess. Long story short, excavation is one of the most expensive and most prone to unforeseen issues aspect of construction. So that's why I did a whole blog post on it. And this is some basic facts that may be interesting or that you should know if you do plan to build yourself on a property that you purchase. Fortunately, single-family homes are much more simple, but again, excavation can become expensive if you're in an area with a lot of rock, if you're on a slope, if you happen to be in an area where contaminated soil comes up, that can be a major issue. Any sort of brownfield or site where there was at one point or nearby a use that could pose contamination to the soil or did contaminate soil. So those are some of the obvious things like gas stations and dry cleaners, but it can also include old orchards because if you go back far enough to 1920s, 30s even, arsenic was a popular pesticide to be used in orchards, and all of the arsenic that was used contaminated a lot of the soil around those old orchards. So you'll see that even agricultural uses can cause contamination, which can pose an issue for a whole lot of reasons, but it can also make excavation more difficult if you have to clean up soil. So that's why we did a blog post just on excavation. I think it's an important topic. We also did a fun blog post. This is probably one of the funner ones I've done. Just answering the questions, who are the largest landowners in the US? I wonder if any of you know. There are a few famous names on the list. Some of them I didn't know. But it was an interesting topic or an interesting article to research to see who actually owns the most land in the US and what they use it for. As you can guess, many of the largest landowners are in the timber industry. There are a few ranchers, and there are also, of course, a number of billionaires who have added land to their portfolio for investment reasons. And some of them have more noble reasons for wanting to own land, conservation, preservation of rural spaces, things like that. So it's an interesting article. If you have some time, it may be a fun read, especially if you just are interested in land and want to know more about it. And then I did a blog post on soil mending, which is another important topic if you do want to grow your own food or you're really into gardening. Soil mending is, I think, something that generally can't be avoided unless you're taking a really hands-off approach to your garden or crop raising. But it's key to ensuring that the soil has all the appropriate nutrients, structure, and composition that the particular plants you want to grow need. Unfortunately, a lot of soil in the US is not in great shape, so soil mending is more important than ever. We did a full blog post on that because I know a lot of people here are interested in off-grid living, and that often includes growing your own food. So I like to put out a lot of blog posts that relate to soil health, how you can improve it. Very important, again, if you're growing your own food, but even if you're not necessarily into farming, just protecting the overall soil health of our land here in the US is very important, I think, for everyone to be concerned about, because it's how we grow food as a whole. And if our soil quality declines across the board, we're going to have a harder time supplying our own food. So soil health is a really important topic for many people. And I think anyone who's interested in land, may want to learn about it. Happy Fun Day, Silent Ninja. Did anyone do anything fun this weekend? Hope you did. We're still in the midst of summer, so hopefully we're all, one of the hottest summers we've had, but still it's summer, so hopefully you're all having a lot of fun during your weekends. We took a quick trip, just a 2-hour trip to a city nearby that we hadn't been to before, which was fun. And the last blog post that I did this week was on reforestation, topic that's kind of near and dear to my heart. I love forests. I grew up in the Midwest, and then I'm in the East Coast. I've always loved forests. It's been, even though I've been living in cities, I've been in areas where forests are, common around the area. And it's nice to see in the East Coast, in the Northeast, there's been a lot of reforestation. Forest cover has come back there, so that's really nice to see, and I think in other parts of the U.S. as well. And it's great for a number of reasons. I mean, if you're like me and you just love being outdoors, the more areas that are available for outdoor recreation that are beautiful and in good health, the better. I know a lot of people like to hunt or do other outdoor activities, fish, all of that. So having healthy, vibrant forests is important. And then, of course, forests are important for the overall diversity of our habitat, for ensuring biological health of regions, and for storing carbon. So it is kind of near and dear to me, so I thought I'd do a blog post on it. And, oh, Jen, you worked on your camper. That's exciting. Is it in working condition now, ready to take on the road? Lots of fun at work, sweating in the California heat. Yeah, it's hot there now, isn't it? I know many of us are kind of sweltering in this uncharacteristically hot summer. But great, Jen. Any plans to go somewhere fun? Take advantage of the summer. Yeah. We've thought about getting an RV, but haven't pulled the trigger yet. But it does seem like a great way to get out and see the country. So, and that covers it for blog posts. If you've been paying, Giselle, in Delaware, it has been unpleasant. I have family in DC. They tell me it's sweltering. I see. Maybe next year. Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get out and have some big plans for next year in the camper. Yeah. Yeah, Giselle, yeah, I hear it's sweltering in DC. With the humidity, it's quite brutal. What can you do? I guess we are just be grateful we have ACs, right? I sometimes wonder, when I hear about how hot it is in the Southwest, I sometimes wonder what the early pioneers did during the summer, or the early humans who lived here, for that matter. But I did just want to point out, if you haven't been paying attention to the YouTube channel, I do post videos on all the properties that I list. I try to post them shortly after listing the actual property, so if you're paying attention to the YouTube channel, you get to see our latest properties. And I try to do a short every day. Some days I miss, but for the most part I try to do it every day, so those are more condensed videos about the properties. So if you're interested, you can check that out. And hi, Coyote Grad. All right, so time always flies on these things. We are now into the vacation giveaway. They were probably smarter than us and took midday naps. Yeah, well, there's the famous siesta, right? And that's probably what you have to do in a hot climate. I wish I had a schedule that would allow for a midday nap, but live in the modern world with AC, so pros and cons. But yeah, now we're at the vacation giveaway. I know it's what most of you are here for, so very excited to start it. I know a lot of you have been here again and again, so you've heard me say all of this, but I'll go through the terms just in case there are new participants here. What the vacation giveaway is a giveaway of a voucher that's valid for a 3, sometimes 4-night stay in a hotel that our travel partner typically classifies as luxury. The hotel stay is complimentary, but you do have to pay the regular taxes associated with the hotel. And the voucher is supposed to be for 1 or 2 people, so 1 person or a couple, but there will be some hotels that allow you to bring 2 children. You'll just have less options. And the way it works is if you win, I'll send you a full list of all the locations. There are over 50 of them. You can take your time, decide where you want to go. You do have to select your location before you get the voucher, but once you've selected it, I'll send you the voucher. You have 7 days to redeem the voucher. That doesn't mean you have to book the vacation in those 7 days, but you do have to pay the taxes. After you've redeemed it, you have 18 months to decide when exactly you want to go. So you do have time to plan. I will note, though, that there are going to be some dates that aren't available, typically major holidays, and most weekends will have a small additional fee. So just keep that in mind as well. And every location does have a number of hotels that participate. You can't see the hotels ahead of time, but there are a lot of them. So you should be able to find one that works for you. And the other thing that I haven't been noting, but I got one question on from one winner, is you do need to pay your airfare, food, all the other regular vacation expenses. This is for the hotel stay. So those are the general terms. The way I do this is anyone who wants to participate, just say yes in the chat, and everyone will get a number in the order that they say yes. So the first person is 1, second is 2, so on and so on. And then I'll have the Google machine randomly select a number. The person whose number is selected is the winner. So pretty simple. I'll just give you all a minute or 2 to decide if you want to participate and say yes. And in the meantime, if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. But I am very glad to see many of you back again. It's nice to see you every weekend. So thank you for participating. Oh, I forgot to mention, you're only able to redeem 1 voucher every 12 months. But if you've already gotten a voucher, that doesn't mean you can't participate. If you do win, you can gift the voucher to a friend or family member. And we also have a hotel savings card that we can give you instead if you don't have someone you want to give the voucher to. So if you've won before, you can still participate. All right. Speaking of hot, I didn't keep the AC up enough here. With the whole studio set up, I'm a little toasty. I rarely look forward to fall, but I think this year I am. Right. We'll wait another minute just to make sure that everyone is able to participate. I was also curious if anyone actually knew who the largest landowner was or was able to guess it correctly. If you're interested, I can pull up that blog post while we're waiting. Looks like everyone who's participated wanted to. But if you didn't know, it's the Emerson family. So I hadn't heard of them before. It was interesting, but they're a logging company. So not surprising, logging companies or a logging family would be the largest landowner in the US. All right, so I think everyone who wants to participate has. We have a small group this weekend, so it means everyone has a good chance of winning. So I'll count. I do sometimes make a mistake, so let me know if I did, but it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 participants. So we'll do a random number between 1 and, oh, someone else just said yes. So that brings us up to 8. All right. So we'll have Google select. It looks like it's number 4, which is Coyote Grad. You are this week's winner. Congratulations. I know you've joined a number of times, so glad to have you be this week's winner. I'll put in my email address here. So if you just send me an email, I will send you the list of locations. And as for everyone else, thank you so much for joining. I say this every week, but I really mean it. I know you have a lot of other things you can do at this time on a Sunday, so I appreciate you joining and chatting with me. And I really appreciate everyone who shows up again and again. And I'll be here next Sunday, same time, same place. I hope to see you all as well. And oh yes, that's a good point, Silent Ninja. Bring us back a souvenir or send a screenshot of what you picked up. But yep, stay cool. Enjoy the summer while you can. We are in August, so last month of it. And I'll see you all next